This sheet here that you're looking at, with all these random lines on it and these weird shapes on it, this is called isometric paper. And at first glance, you might think, okay, I see a bunch of triangles and going in a bunch of random directions. And so I see a triangle right here, and I see another triangle right here, so I see a bunch of triangles. And if you look at it a little bit closer, you might say, okay, well, I see a bunch of hexagons. Okay, I see a bunch of triangles that come together to form a hexagon. But I want you to ignore these, and I'm going to do what I call calibrating your brain. You're going to hopefully start seeing what this paper really represents. And so go ahead and darken this along with me. I'm going to go ahead and re-darken ourselves a quick hexagon. So around it. But then, after I darken that hexagon, after I outline that hexagon, I'm also going to go up from the bottom of this hexagon, straight up to the middle, and then connect to the two outside edges. And hopefully, you should now see the cube. But now if you look at the rest of this paper, this is what I mean by calibrating your brain. If you look at the rest of this paper, you can see all of the cubes that exist in this. It's almost like Minecraft, but on paper. And so then we could even draw ourselves a bigger cube. So I'm going to go below this, and I'm going to go out. I'm going to draw it out 2 squares each direction. So I went down to the left 1. I'm going to go down to the left 2 now. I'm going to go down to the right 2 from that same corner. So in comparison, it's this corner and this corner. And from here, I'm going to go down 2. And over here, I'm going to go down 2. And then just like here, I went inwards and inwards. I'm going to go inwards 2 and inwards 2. And again, I'm going to fill in this hexagon just like before, only now from this bottom corner here, I'm going to go up 2. And then I'm going to connect it inwards to both edges. And you can see I created an even bigger cube. And so that's kind of how this works. And so now, I mean, you don't have to just build cubes. You could make something bigger and better. And so let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and build this random block. And so we hold up this random block. You can kind of see the shape of it. We can go ahead and draw this for ourselves. And so let me see if I keep this paper straight. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off to the right here, but I'm going to start with this bottom right corner. And I want to make sure there's plenty of room above it, so I'm going to go down a little bit from anything else. And I also want to make sure I'm not going to run into my previous image, so I'm going to go right a few lines. So maybe I'll start about here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say each square is 2 lines in this. So this has 1, 2 cubes or squares, and so that's going to represent, each one's going to represent 2 lines. And so this goes 2 cubes. You can see what I mean, hopefully this line here. I'm going to go 1, 2 for the first cube, 1, 2, and then I'm going to go 2 more, so 2 more, and so I should have gone 4 up. And then if you look, it goes 4 this direction as well, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just drawing it a little bit bigger so we can, kind of see what we're working with here. So I go 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And so this is 1 cube tall, so I'm going to go up 2 squares here. And then I'm going to come back this direction. I'm just sort of going the directions on the lines that it would go if we're looking at this image. And so again, it's 2 cubes long, and so I'm going to make it 4 squares long. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we go down 2, and then we go inward, or to the left, I should say, 2 more. Okay, and then it goes down, but I don't really want to draw that line. Instead, I'm going to say that this is one. Yeah, I guess you can't see that anymore on the screen. I'm going to say this is one big face, and so instead I'm going to go up 2 to represent that 1 cube. I'm going to go to the left 2, and I'm going to go down. And so as you can see, I have this entire face right here in this area, okay, and then it goes, it goes back to there, and I guess it keeps going all the way to the back, and then it connects back here. And then over here, it'll go up to, that's this line right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw this top face. I'm going to finish it off. And this is why it's so important to, make sure you have plenty of room, because as you can see, I'm hitting this previous shape that I drew and crossed out. Hopefully you didn't draw those little hexagons because they're kind of pointless. But that was kind of the point of making sure you went off to the side, because otherwise you're going to have to erase and start over like I just did. If you're running into your other shapes, that's kind of the idea. But I'm going to go ahead and finish off the stop face. Now we draw this, and then, as you can see, I've sort of drawn this entire shape here just on paper. So it's kind of like Minecraft, these cubes, but on paper. And so what's going on? Well, if you look, there are 3 different directions that this paper can go. It's the 3 dimensions of the world, right? There's height, up and down. There's width, left and right. So we've got up and down. We've got left and right. And then we got forward and back. But in this, they're kind of going at 60-degree angles. And so let's start simple. Let's start with height. So I'm going to go a little bit further to the right here. And we'll say, okay, height. Height goes up and down. Let's go and draw ourselves a little arrow. I'm going to draw height in green. And so anything going up or down is a line that goes, or that is representing our height, so up and down. And so I'll say that is our Y direction or our height. And then any ones that are going this direction, so that is down to the left or up and to the right, that is forward and back. That is going to be our depth. And so this red mark, this direction, any line, so that's this line and this line and this line. Anytime you represent that, so from here to here, for example, this is the front of our shape, this is the back of our shape, we'll consider that our Z direction or our depth. And of course, the other direction, all of these lines going down and to the right or up and to the left, all of these types of lines, that represents our X direction or our width. So we'll say that's our X, otherwise known as our width. And so I'll tell you, go to the left or go up or go forward or go back as we are drawing in this, and that's sort of how the directions on this isometric paper work.